Zen and diving the Sandusky. Each time I backrolled off the boat and broke through the surface of the water, it was like entering a time machine. Passing through the sharp thermocline and losing the daylight was tantamount to being propelled into some sort of twilight zone. As the pressure of the depth squeezed on my body and biting cold of the 40-degree water numbed my bones, I began to wonder why I do this. Quickly, the answer appeared in the form of a ship's deck rail, barely visible through the greenish, murky water. In a moment, I landed on the deck and realized the time warp was complete. Exploring the wreck was like going through an ancient cathedral, except I was alone, completely alone. Slowly, I moved from one display to another. A row of deadeyes, a windlass, a bowsprit, each one virgin to the eyes. A lazy kick drove me forward through this underwater museum. As always, the one thing that reminded me I was alone was the sound of my breathing. In this state, it took little effort to imagine the Sandusky's crew frantically working the bilge pump in front of the broken mainmast, trying to clear the hold of water while each crashing wave opened the seams of the hull still further. Realizing it was a losing effort, they ran down the deck and climbed to the upper reaches of the mast and held on for dear life as the Sandusky slowly settled beneath the waves. No doubt they stared in fright as the water began to rise, all the time wondering how deep the water really was. And then the hull struck bottom, leaving them momentarily safe in their precarious perch. In the distance, they could probably see the sidewheeler, Queen City, fighting her way through the roaring gale, but her progress was agonizingly slow, and 4 men were swept away by the violent seas. The 3 who remained must have prayed with all the force of their souls for the arrival of the Queen City. I could only imagine their sense of resignation to death when their rescue ship turned away. They knew they would be gone before she could circle back. The drama of the Sandusky was interrupted by the train response to check my air supply. A glance at my pressure gauge indicated the doors to this cathedral would soon be closing. Anchor line took me out of the vestibule and back through the time warp with its attendant thermal and pressure changes. Breaking the surface, I knew I was back in my intended world and time frame.